This mare hasn't been ridden since this summer. First time in, well, I don't know how many months, quite a few. And it's a new saddle that we're trying out too, so that might look a little goofy with her riding. She's doing really well in here, actually. She does not like the arena typically. And unfortunately there are barrels set up out here, and she does not like barrels. She'll do them, she just doesn't do them well, and she gets really, really high strung. Outside of the arena setting, she's a good girl. And she's doing really well, actually. I'm very pleased and surprised. She usually would crow hop, I would think. And just because, like I said, she hasn't been ridden since this last summer. So she's doing really well. This has been my daughter's horse. She rode her all last season, barrel season. She did win what did she win? She won a buckle on her this last year. And in the youth division with high points. But she just doesn't do well on the barrels. She doesn't like the barrels. She gets way too amped up, way too high strung, and she has a tendency to completely blow that first barrel, or maybe it's the second. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I really don't think that she should be used in that regard. Right now she's being ridden in a long shank Sherry Servy 3-piece dog bone bit. And as soon as we get some gates closed at the other end of the arena, we'll get some video of her trotting and loping as well. Oh goodness. Her registered name is Callista Cool. We call her KC, which is totally backwards from Callista Cool, but that's okay. That's what she came to us with the name, and my daughter's name, and my daughter's initials are also KC, so they thought it was pretty cool. She's 15 years old this year. Registered paint. I just had her feet done, about 2 weeks ago, I believe. She is barefoot currently. We usually, when we ran her, we were putting her in shoes. She's easy to shoe. She's probably the best one I've got on my property to shoe. Her teeth probably are due. It's been about 2 years since she's had her teeth done, so they are due. If I don't sell her soon, I'll be taking her in with all the rest of mine to get done before too long. She's a pretty girl. She is registered paint, like I said. Oh man, she's being good. Good girl. My daughter used her for 4-H in this arena last year. Did pretty well on her. She was amped up in the arena, and so she could have been better. But simply for that fact, she didn't do as well as we would have liked in our small show, anyway. My daughter's been riding for about 5 years, I believe it is. We call her a novice rider, I guess. And we simply want to find her a home where she's going to be used regularly. My husband keeps saying he'll ride her, he likes her, but he doesn't ride often enough for me to justify holding on to her. And to be quite frank, I want to buy me another horse. And he laid down the law and said that if I'm going to get another horse, this one has to go, which is fine. She needs to find a home where she's going to be used. I have ridden her. I'm an advanced beginner to intermediate rider. I've even ridden her on the barrels where she's a little nutty. And I've been fine. I've not felt like she was going to go nuts on me by any means. She just goes a little faster than I'm willing to go at this point. people we bought her from. They took her in the mountains, pushed cows. Their daughter wanted to use her for a barrel horse. They definitely didn't want her speed. They are not barrel racers. They thought they wanted to be. They got on this horse and went, holy moly, that's too much speed for me. And they no longer barrel race, pretty much. But they did take her in the mountains and push cows on her, and the mother did, and she said that she did great. We've taken her out on the desert, and my husband's pushed cows on her, and she did great. She was a little cowy and did good. She's a love. She wants attention. She's not hard to catch in the pasture. I'd say she looks skinny to me slightly, but it's also her shape. She is shaped that way also. I'd like to see a few more pounds on her myself. She does not do well on alfalfa, straight alfalfa. That just gets her way too amped up. We unfortunately did that. It was our only option for feed. We ran out of hay at the end of the season last year, and I didn't count correctly. And so we unfortunately had to go to the feed store and buy. All they had was straight alfalfa. That's not a good mix for her. Currently, she is actually on an alfalfa mix, or a grass hay alfalfa mix. She gets glucosamine, unfortunately, when my daughter remembers, and we need to get better about that. She is on Vitaquine, which is a nice supplement that I recommend for all horses. And I think she's on MSM also. I don't do any senior feed or anything like that. I just like the glucosamine and try and get as much of that in as I can to any of my older horses. Yeah, that's all the feed she gets, or extra feed she gets, along with her hay. In our herd, I would say she's an, I don't want to say alpha male, but in our herd she is. She is in her own pen right now, but my colt, he goes over and visits her because he likes to go through the fence, and so he'll go over there and stick around with her for a while, and then he'll go back to the other mare side. But I don't keep the two mares together, simply because my daughter's new horse, I just don't want anything to happen to her. We spent a little bit of money to get her a real good broke and patterned running horse, so I just don't want anything to happen to her. So that's why I keep them separated. Okay, sis, can we see use this half of the arena, please, and trot her. Don't take her too close to those barrels. I think she'll be fine, but just... See, she thinks she's going to be run on the barrel pattern, and she doesn't like to go. She doesn't want to go. That was her last trick when Kerstin was racing her, was that she would just not go without a lot of encouragement. And right now she sees those barrels and thinks that she's being asked to run them. And until she figures out that she's not, maybe we'll have to go take those barrels down. She's a pretty girl, I think. I think she's a beautiful girl. My daughter did also use her for rodeo, the one rodeo she was able to go to this last year, and she used her for goat tying and the barrels, of course. We had a problem the first day. She did not want to go in the gate, and my daughter was disqualified because it took too long to get her in the gate. Again, that's arena, and that's why I just don't suggest her in that setting. The next day we got her through the gate, and unfortunately my daughter decided she didn't want to get off at the goat and ran out of time. She tried her goat though, and the goat stayed down. Unfortunately she ran out of time. Come on, girly girl. Oops. There, she's figuring out she's not going to be asked for the barrels. Sorry this video is so long. I do want to make sure that you get an accurate picture of her, at least in this setting. Oh, there we go. Break and envelope. Keep her at it. Like I said again, she hasn't been ridden since this last, since this last summer. Maybe, I can't even think, maybe even just a couple times. So she's a little out of shape, and we'll need some time to get back into shape and get legged up. Take her the other direction, please. I'm going to take her out on the track and maybe get her out of this arena where she's not seeing those barrels.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start a new video.